a door on these buildings, and maybe like a sign or a billboard. And then I think the rest you guys could probably figure out. You know what, I changed my mind. If you're doing a street, you'll want to dot below your center line of your center building, and then you can draw in like the edge of the street. I'm actually just going to use my vanishing point number 3, but what you could do is you could have a dot a little bit above that. I wouldn't recommend going below that with your street, because then you're kind of working on like a different, well, you know what, it probably would still work out if you went below. That would probably be okay. I'm just going to use my vanishing point 3 since it's already there though. So this is going to be the edge of my street. This is going to be the opposite edge of my street. So we're looking at like a street corner here. You guys could also draw in like a sidewalk if you wanted to. So for a sidewalk, what you'd want to do is you'd want to continue this line down a little bit. And then I'm going to draw in like the edges of my sidewalk. Here's like the edge of one part of the sidewalk. Here's the edge of another sidewalk. On the sidewalk, you're just going to have lines that come from your opposite side vanishing point. So if I'm working here on the right, I'm going to come in with lines from the left, and just every so often. You probably want those lines to be kind of far apart in the beginning. So like right now, these lines are going to be spaced kind of far. But then as I move further back, they're going to get a little bit closer together. And again, my ruler's not really long enough to reach, so I'm just kind of estimating here. You guys can do the same thing. So my sidewalk lines should be getting a little closer together, a little bit smaller back that way. On the opposite side, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to take lines down from my left vanishing point. When you're doing your street lines, these are actually going to look the same. I'm going to switch to like a lime green here really quick. A regular green. All right, so for my street, I'm going to draw in 2 lines to start. Actually, I'm just going to do this without my ruler so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm coming from my right vanishing point with 1, 2 lines. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cross off those lines in the line from my left vanishing point as well. So I'm going to come in here, draw in a line every so often. These are going to be the dotted line in the middle of the street, or the dashed line. Again, these should be larger towards the center, and they should get a little bit smaller as you go out towards the edge. I think I'm just going to do one more set of these lines here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my black tone, and I'm going to outline the lines that should stay, okay? So you guys can see what I mean by that. So this area right here, I'm going to keep, and then I'm going to erase every other section, if that makes any sense to you. So then if I erase this section and trace this one, it'll start to look like that dashed line, like it only happens every other space. There we go. I'll do one more here for you. All right. Oops, that one kind of got messed up at the end. But you can see how, like, if I erased every other section, I'd have a dotted line going down that street, okay? Let's do a window and a door really quickly, and then I'll do a sign. And I think you guys should kind of be set for the city. So a door, I'm going to do a door on the left-hand side here. Really, a door is like you're only drawing half of a building. So if you want your door on the right, you can start with like a line on the right side, take it up to your right, do another line down to vanishing point 3. I'm going to do a door on the left. So I'm going to start with a line on my left going down to vanishing point 3. So I'm just going to start with a line here. I'm going to do a line up to my left vanishing point. And then wherever that line ends, that's going to be the edge of my door. And I'm going to take it back down to vanishing point 3. All right, so there's a doorway. That's just like a normal door. I'm also going to turn this into like a 3-dimensional door, like where it looks like you could sort of walk into it. Whenever you're going 3D, that's when you have to take a door and you have to start working with the opposite vanishing point. Since this guy is below the horizon line and on the left side, I'm going to start working with the bottom left corner, okay? So the bottom left corner is going to be where I'm starting. Again, that's because I'm below, this is my horizon line, I'm below the horizon line to the left of my center line, okay? All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take that dot up to my right vanishing point. Again, I'm going to the opposite vanishing point just a little bit, like that. See that little baby line? Now I'm going to take a line down to vanishing point 3. It's going to connect with that line at the corner and basically just stop when it hits the edge of the doorway. I'm going to do one more line from my left vanishing point away from that corner, and that is going to draw in basically my door jamb. Now you guys could draw like a window on the door, you could draw a doorknob, whatever details you want to do in there, okay? If you do a window, it's just going to be like the window on the side of the building, so it'll be like a line down to 3, a line from the left, there's a doorknob, door's done, okay? I'm going to do a window on this side, and then I'm also going to make that 3D. For my window, and remember, since I'm on the right side, I'm going to start working on my right side now, okay? Let me erase those arrows so we don't get confused. So since I'm on the right, I'm going to start with a vertical, well, not a vertical. Ooh, I said vertical. Don't use vertical. Okay. But anyway, I'm going to go with the line from vanishing point 3. Oh, maybe. So I thought. Okay, so I have a line down to vanishing point 3. I'm going to take 2 lines up to my right vanishing point. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Yeah, I'll take 2 lines up to vanishing point 3. I think I can figure this out. You might end up with on your window like a little bit of excess that might need to be erased. So like when I line this back up to vanishing point 3 again, I'm going to end up with like a tiny little tail there that's extra, so that you need to erase that if you end up with excess anywhere, okay? All right, now, basically I've just got 2 lines down to vanishing point 3, 2 lines up to the right. Everything's kind of straightforward at this point. When you want to go 3D, you got to start using your opposite side vanishing point. So since I'm on the right, I'm going to use the left, okay? Since I'm below the horizon line once more, below and to the right, I'm going to mark my bottom right corner. So the bottom right corner is where I'm going to start. I'm going to head up to that opposite vanishing point to get going, okay? All right, I'm going to line up to the opposite side. Draw myself a little baby line there. Take it down to vanishing point 3, or I guess take it up from vanishing point 3, I should say, because I'm going up to the top of the window. And then where those guys meet, I'm going to do a line down from my right vanishing point. All right, so then there's my 3D window. And on windows, you can add in like a little bit of a glare if you'd like to. Something like that to make it look shiny. All right, last thing I'm going to do is we are going to draw a billboard together, okay? A billboard and a sign are basically the same way, okay? It just kind of depends on whether or not you're drawing a box like above, on, or below the horizon line, okay? Mine is going to be directly over the horizon line. So remember that if you go below the horizon line, like let's say I were doing a billboard right here or a sign, I'd start with a line down to vanishing point 3, 2 lines up to my left, 2 baby lines to the right, they're not going to be as long, another line down to 3, another line down to 3, oh I'm sorry, take this top corner up to your right too. And then I do another line to my left, okay? So there would be like a sign on my building. When you're doing your lettering, I'll show you how to do lettering on the bigger billboard I'm about to draw, okay? All right, so I'm going to start with a line from vanishing point 3. Whenever you're drawing a building or a box, you start with a line from 3, okay? So this is going to be the corner of my billboard, okay? I'm going to take 2 lines over here to the left. And where these guys end is where I'm going to take them down to that bottom vanishing point, okay? So like right where they end, I'm just going to draw a line in here. You might end up with a little bit of excess. I kind of tried to get it so I wasn't ending up with excess, but if you end up with excess here after drawing your second line down to vanishing point 3, just erase what you have that's extra, okay? All right, so this is the front of my billboard. Now I'm going to draw the side of my billboard, okay? Since it's a box on the horizon line, you only see the side. I will not see the top like I did here. If it were completely above the horizon line, you might see a little bit of the bottom, okay? All right, so all I have to do is draw 2 lines over to my right vanishing point. That little guy and this little guy. All right, when I end with my lines to the right, I'm just going to close them off with a line down to vanishing point 3. All right, there's my billboard. You might also want to put in some poles underneath to hold up the billboard. The nice easy thing about the poles, I just make them look like they're coming from behind, so all you see are the outside edges of the pole. So I'm just doing 2 lines down to vanishing point 3 for the pole, okay? You can do some shading on the edge of the pole, like underneath if you want, or maybe on one side or the other. And then when you do your words, I don't know why I can only ever think of art store on this one, but anyway, I'm gonna start with 2 lines. Let's pretend these lines are coming from my left vanishing point, and then I'm gonna do a couple more lines from my left vanishing point. And then I'm going to write the words art store. Remember, you don't have any more verticals. So instead of my A and my R being straight up and down, they're going to kind of have a slant to them, like they're slanting down to the bottom vanishing point. If you even want to like be really precise and line your ruler up, that might help. But basically, like the center of my A, my R, and my T are going to slant. You could turn these guys into block letters if you need to. That's really messy. But then I could, you know, turn them into a little bit of a block letter. So I'm just gonna do like an art supply store. Again, my U is gonna be on a slant. Both P's are gonna kind of slant. There we go. Okay, so there's my art supply store billboard. Same thing on signs here. You're gonna make sure that your letters are also getting smaller towards the vanishing point. No verticals. The vertical lines have to go down to the bottom, okay? So just remember that, guys, that there are no verticals. All your verticals are gonna line up to vanishing point 3. The rest of it's the same as 2-point perspective. The sides are gonna get smaller towards both vanishing points. The edges of the building, again, no verticals. They go down to vanishing point 3. If you remember that, I think you'll be fine.